Hello and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. 54 minutes late.
Woo!
Life is hard, it is hot. It's been a few weeks and it's caught up to me. There was venting on all sides, both of hot air and cold air. And we're all feeling a little better. How are we all doing?
Good.
We're starting
Let's go.
Yeah, it's hot. Starting to get vaccinated
Slightly
as well.
delirious, so very hype.
Yes. We are going to be playing some Numenera, in case you didn't realise. We're going to do the recap after I do the titles. Wow, this is worse than normal. Normally it's bad, but this time it's definitely worse.
Just keep rolling with it. It's fine. We'll keep going.
The thing is,
Nobody's noticed.
no, every
Move
time
forward.
I mention it, it suddenly becomes endearing, so it's fine. That's how I do it. You acknowledge it, you lampshade it, and then just move on. So, without further ado, let's watch those titles. And welcome back. Last week, and it was last week, it wasn't 2 weeks. It feels like it's been 2 weeks. A lot has happened in the last week. Last week, we were trapped under one of the Dream Titans, running from the Iron Wind. You managed to outpace it and get yourself set underneath one of these things as it moved down slowly. You managed to get a couple of the carts outside, but one got slightly crushed by the low ceiling. It was a few days under there, actually. No, you got out after 1 day, correct?
No, I
yeah.
think it was a couple of days, wasn't it?
We're not entirely sure because we didn't have any concept of the passage of time while we were in there.
That's fair.
We definitely overnighted.
Definitely overnighted.
Yeah.
And underneath, you were making money. Well, future money. Collecting this goop that was dripping down, this ichor, from the cracks in the underside of this kind of insectoid stone beast, the Dream Titan. You're all very careful not to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Were we?
After you were told to, because Mazia touched it.
Sounds much better.
Yes, and you received like hyper awareness of language, of like words, sounds. No, it was only words, specifically words. And yeah, your brain was trying so hard to memorize it that every word was echoing and echoing and echoing to the point where it was painful. Same happened when you tried to read words. And actually,
I think it was worse.
yeah. And actually, I made a thing I wanted to correct because sign language would also make it echo in your head because it is a language.
Ah.
So yeah, it would also echo in your head. There would be no getting around it like that.
Take 4 points of intellect damage.
Ah.
Yeah, and so you were monitoring Mazia's condition during that time. You also trying to remember what order things happened in. Figured out a little bit about how wow, I've forgotten everyone's names. The kid.
Merrin?
Merrin, yes.
Merinoak.
Merinoak, yes. A little bit about how Merrin's powers worked. Seems to be focused on the hands and seems to be suppressive but not destructive. So it could stop something happening for a while. It if he caught an object that Letty was levitating, it stopped levitating. But when it was let go, it was put back in the levitation after a few seconds. And then if held Letty's hands or head, I can't remember where your kind of focus is, but yes, if put a hand to your head, they all fell. It suppressed your powers entirely for a bit until he let go, and she managed to raise them all up again. You decided that this would be useful, and over the course of basically a full day, you figured out a difficulty 9 task down to a 0 by finding all of these useful ciphers and explaining to me how all of these parts fit together to try and transfer Merrin's like anti-Numenera field to a headband, a crown that Mazia is
Particularly
wearing.
attractive looking crown,
Yes,
I think.
not at all janky and just a box on a thing that makes your head tilt.
Beautiful it was. Cleety did a great work of art craft in that.
But managed to figure out this object which would suppress the echoes going around in Mazia's head, the language trying to assert itself. Is there anything I've missed underneath the Dream Titan before the escape?
Cleety spent quite a lot of time reassuring
I think
people. They were all getting a bit panicked. But Cleety did a really good job sort of reassuring everyone, particularly Philippe, I think.
Philo.
Philo,
Philo.
yeah.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Everybody's got a name problem. Also, somehow Matilda overheard that Letty was a thief and a smuggler, which Cleety managed to smooth over with some quite masterful,
Yeah, we're quite right.
Yes.
For about 5
Wasn't
minutes.
so-
Words
distractions.
came. However, now she also knows he's a criminal too. She's a criminal too, sorry. And
Hasn't
hasn't
exactly
quite-
been so much rehabilitated as still incarcerated.
Yeah.
you are I still say it, you're still rehabilitated. You're just connected to us. And it's not a bad thing. Is it? I think we're about to find out, maybe.
There was a scrabble to escape, though. Digging underneath, using walls of gravitation to pull the sides of a tunnel out that would allow you to push this slightly crushed car underneath and out, and everyone else digging, trying to make the space, trying to get out before Umdera, the town which follows these Dream Titans, notices you. Luckily, you chose the correct side, and they didn't spot you. As you managed to dig your way out, everyone got out eventually, hooked up the Calyptor roads, hooked them up to the carts, and on you went. These carts that were outside did get hit a little bit by the iron wind, so a couple of the wheels are non-functional now, so it means that there's going to be some more rolls later for these floating things, because they'll have to deal with a lot more now that a couple of the wheels are. Basically, there will be consequences.
Ah.
No. I hate consequences of actions.
But for the last few weeks, it's been kind of tense. There's like you chat back and forth at meal times, but Matilda is very much more guarded than she has been, and has kind of been refusing to engage in any kind of deep conversation, any kind of meaningful conversation. It's all been pleasantries and politeness. George is shooting apologetic looks every time Matilda does this and kind of switches tracks back to the polite talk. Aldo's eyes are quite hard and seem dead set against you all. Alia seems fairly not nonplussed, because that always has the opposite meaning of the thing I think it means. Alia seems to not mind, doesn't really care. You've all been nice to her. Merrin also has been kind of a little reclusive, hiding away, only really coming out to help with the glove, and otherwise just hiding in one of the caravans. Nimchek also has kind of, actually from Rashid, is still not gone back to his normal self. It's a pretty dour bunch. Philo's quite happy, actually, having been on a couple of adventures and managed to keep everyone's spirits up with food, and has actually started writing. Philo has started putting some of these adventures down to paper before they fade. But the first thing, before any of this, we need to do is we need to fix the glove and the crown, because they broke the first day out of the the Dream Titan. So I'm going to ask for some kind of fixing roll. Luckily, it's not a difficulty 9 because you've already got the object.
Because it would last a day, and then Cleege, you had a device which powers it back up for a day.
I've got a power cipher. Siphon, sorry. Power siphon cipher. That's quite hard to say. So that can drain power from one cipher to fuel another.
Oh, okay.
But I also now have the skill of recharge cipher. So I can recharge a cipher that was used in the past 10 minutes, allowing it to be used again.
Okay.
I must touch the cipher, spend 1 XP, and succeed at an understanding Numenera roll. Oh, okay, lucky I took the skill on that. Okay.
Also,
difficulty equal to the level of the cipher. Also,
it's an artifact you built, not a cipher.
Oh, yes,
okay.
That's true.
Because it is going to be used multiple times.
I'll
I'll allow them for assets and stuff for fixing this, but
okay.
You're still going to have to make the roll.
Trenton, am I fixing or are you fixing?
I assume we're both doing it because we both fashioned it.
So I guess I help you this time, because this is, even though I crafted it, you're the nuts and bolts sort of guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess this is going to be more of because it's just the charge that's being held in it. It didn't break, did it? It just kind of ran out of juice. Am I right?
Yeah. So the way I kind of pictured it was the power running through it kind of overloaded something, and a few like minor bits kind of broke.
Okay. Then it sounds more like an electrical machines thing than a Numenera. It could be a bit. It's going to be both.
It's going to be both.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Cleege, I guess the two of us will help. I'm happy to make the roll. I'm skilled in electrical machines and specialised in electrical machines and skilled in understanding Numenera. So I'll just tinker, go back through the circuits, don't try and find where the problem is, and if it's electricity that it needs in any part, then I will scavenge, I suppose, from anything that people aren't using or anything that we have.
Yeah. So normally I wouldn't allow you to do this at all, but you built this.
Yeah.
I'm putting this at a difficulty 7.
Okay. Does it come down by 2 because I'm specialised in electrical machines?
It does. 5.
Does it come down by 1 because I have an understanding of Numenera?
4.
Does it come down by 1 because I have repairing
3.
the skill?
How can I help? Because I'm specialised in crafting Numenera, and I'm also trained in understanding Numenera.
With your crafting Numenera, it goes to a difficulty 1.
When you give advice, is that...
I know. I'm just about to give some good advice, I think.
Yeah.
I feel that's coming upon Clegy. He's not going to tell you how to suck eggs, but he's probably just going to point out where the crown sort of interface may have been a little slapdash because, you know, he was building it under like a dream titan. It was circumstantial. It's not a reflection of his ability.
Like, glow globes. It's difficult to see exactly what's going on. It's like making electronics by candlelight.
I mean, also, do you know, it's the blue wire is where the green wire should have been, and the glow under the dream titan. It's hard to tell the difference. I did the same twice with the glove. It can happen to anybody. But thanks.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
Why I need you.
So snip, strip the plastic and the synth, and then switch the wires, connect the blue to the green with the blue, replace any fuses that are broken. The next stop, I'm really going to have to stock up on some of the sundry items that I've been using. I'm starting to run out of wire and solder and all sorts of things. Should I make a roll?
Well, you've got it to a difficulty 0 with that good advice.
Excellent. Nice.
So, again, 7 down to 0. I'm going to say that over the next few days, you keep making improvements to this thing.
Okay.
So its depletion dice will now be percentile.
Okay.
So, we're going to roll a few percentile at various points. We'll do some percentile rolls.
Sure.
I'm not going to do it for every day because that's boring. We will figure it out as and when we need to.
Brilliant.
And so we pass quickly through these next few slightly tense, quiet weeks. Not much conversation happening. The only real talking is business, direction to go. There's not... It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant like it's been. And there's not even...
How are the rest of us? Because obviously that's with like George and Matilda and that sort of group. Like, how's our group?
You tell me.
I personally am immensely proud of all of us for the work that we did last time. What a team! What we did was amazing. Jen's well happy.
Letty is acting like nothing is wrong even slightly.
It probably took Mazira a little while to realise that something was in fact wrong. But she has cottoned on. But she's not, she's not entirely sure exactly why everything seems to be unhappy. But she's probably not really enjoying. She's not having the best time. She's not enjoying having to wear the hat all the time, and it's making her hair like frizzy, and it's a bit itchy, which she doesn't enjoy. But she's not. It's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, she has after she cottoned on to some of the tension, she did realise this wasn't just perhaps something that needs fixing, but she doesn't really know how to fix it.
Are people tense with all of us, or just me specifically?
All of you. As far as Matilda's concerned, you are a group, and none of you told her. She will honour her contract. She will begrudgingly honour her contract because she is a good businesswoman. But she doesn't have to be happy about it.
Kleegi is gutted, absolutely gutted, because, he likes the chat and, he likes that sort of social aspect to it. And he's not dealing with being shut out at all very well. And he doesn't really know what to do about it, because he doesn't really feel he can share with like Mazir or Trenton or Letty exactly what's going on. So they've probably noticed his demeanor's changed. He's spending time with Philo because, Philo brings him joy and food.
What's the difference?
But he also is spending increasing periods.
Oh, no.
Who have we just lost? He's spending increasing periods sort of by himself.
Danny's
sort
doing
of
a quick restart.
sitting quietly and sort of contemplating and feeling sad.
That was probably the only thing that tipped Mazir off, was that Kleegi was being quiet, and not. That was probably what tipped Mazir off, and she was like, "Oh, something is wrong. Ah, I see.
Sorry. Just doing some stream magic. Or trying to.
Is Danny alright? You just...
Danny just has to do a restart.
And I need to go ahead. There we go, that'll do for now. Magic. Sorry, I was zoned out for... did you ask me something?
No.
Okay. I guess... yeah, so the path you take doesn't take you through many big settlements. There's a few small ones where you can kind of settle down for a day and have a proper wash with clean water and all that jazz. I've got to undo the magic I did.
Sorry.
Fine. No worries. You are just currently sitting in my GM seat, so let me fix that quickly.
At last.
Quick, take it and run!
Power.
It's already fixed.
Next time.
But yes, the route you've taken through the desert, and actually you're starting to come to the edge of it. There's small towns, small villages, places where you can get a night's sleep and a proper wash and some fresh food, like top up your water, top up your food. Not too much in the way of materials, but some basics, get some wiring, get some like oddities that you can take apart. But yeah, not much business happens until you crest a hill, now out of the desert, into this kind of scrubland type terrain. You crest a hill and you see on the very far distance a purple haze. As you get closer and closer, it resolves itself into a forest. Purple forest. And Matilda, even though she's not happy, you can see her relax a little. You know that this is the next business opportunity. And over the next few days, you get closer and closer and closer, and these trees get bigger and bigger and bigger. Much like the Dream Titan, it's actually much further away than you expected, and they are much, much taller. Like redwood, like height, with this very dense canopy, and you can see the sun, which you're kind of heading towards autumn now. The sun is still beating overhead, but is a little cooler than it was. Definitely cooler than it was in the desert. Doesn't really penetrate very far into the canopy at all. You can see the edges are kind of dappled and lovely, but yeah. The other thing about this forest is that it seems like it's got a very clear edge. forests generally peter out. They get thicker as you go in and less thick as you go out. But this forest is nothing, nothing, nothing forest. It is a very clear area. George informs you, these are the Osrin woods. I think we're going for fruit. These trees have got fruit in them that's apparently useful. Not nice, useful. That's all I know, I'm afraid.
So it's not a fruit that you eat.
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
it's alchemists who want it as an order from someone in Key who managed to send us a message. So
Interesting. Everybody, don't eat fruit. Important health and safety note, not looking at anybody in particular.
Don't know what you
eat
mean.
fruit.
would you roll your percentile for your hat?
Am I rolling it?
Yes.
So is it a D100 or?
Yep.
Yep.
Just don't roll a 1.
Oh, don't say that, Ed. Sorry, I haven't. Again, I was like, I won't need D10s.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You didn't tell me this time, so I can't even blame you. I can only blame myself. Here we go. Is that a D10 or is that a D12? That's a D10. 91.
Nice one. Yeah, so this thing has worked perfectly fine the whole way. Merrin has been less and less happy about putting the gauntlet on every time, but he still does it.
And are the effects still just as bad as they were when they started?
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. Gonna have to figure something out. But for the moment, you approach this forest. The Caliptor seem a little trepidatious about actually entering this forest. They don't seem too happy about actually going between the trees, so you skirt around the outside until Matilda calls the caravan to a halt and basically looks at you all, says, "Grab some baskets, we're going fruit picking," and looks into the forest.
Mazir will grab a basket
Okay,
as instructed.
wonderful.
Same, because I want Matilda to be on our side again. So, yeah. I look eager.
Yeah, the
Letty's
kids
got a
all grab
basket
their
in
baskets
hand.
as well.
Sorry.
No, you go.
Letty's got a basket in her hand and then one sort of hovering at shoulder height behind her.
Yeah, you can feel the eyes in the back of your neck as you walk into the forest. And yeah,
Method
the
I'm
kids
not
all
used
grab
to.
their baskets as well, and you all kind of spread out into the forest for a few hours of climbing up trees and picking fruits. They're actually quite high up in the canopy, so it's a bit of work to get them, but the trees are craggy enough that they're easy to climb, so it's not overly taxing. And there's a few hours of this, of just quietly collecting this fruit, quietly moving back and forth to the carts, until a voice from inside the forest, from deep in the forest, you hear, No, what are you doing? Don't, and footsteps start charging towards you. And coming out of the deep darkness beyond, you see a woman. Very well put together, surprisingly for someone who seems to live in a forest. Green robes, kind of blonde hair piled up in a tight bun, with kind of plants through it, like an ivy vine through it. She's got like deep green eyes, and she is desperately, desperately trying to get you all to stop picking the fruit.
Good day, my lady.
Idiots!
I apologise. Have we done something wrong?
Well, not so much wrong as stupid.
Uh,
That does sound like us.
Do you know what any of this does? Do you know what you're picking? No,
Not a
of course you
clue.
don't. Bloody traders coming through here every bloody year.
What does it do?
Well, mostly it's poisonous.
I mean, we're not going to eat it, so that's okay.
Well, you don't need to eat it.
Oh. Um,
when you
Letty
say
stood with
we
her
don't
hands
need
in her
to...
pockets, like fruit floating down behind her. Oh, good to know.
Are you saying it goes through our skin?
If any of the juices, yes. You idiots. She stomps back into the forest, and you hear just trailing behind. Just go away. Floating behind her.
Got any antidote for that stuff? You seem like you know stuff around here. Lady?
Ignored, and you see she kind of fades into the darkness.
Has anyone got it on their hands? Have I got it on my hands?
No, you've all been quite careful. Looking around though,
yeah.
kids haven't been quite as careful.
Yeah.
Matilda hasn't been quite as careful. Nimchek hasn't been quite as careful.
Ah, beans.
Question. Who has got juice on their hands at the moment?
Matilda, Nimchek, Aldo, Merrin.
Hey, so I'll call out their names. Could you come towards me, please? Maybe put the fruit down. Everybody else, don't touch any more fruit. Just put it down carefully.
Matilda says, "What? Why?"
I obviously you did not just see the lady that came out and said actually the juice is quite toxic. So I think maybe put it down. And how Trenton assess Trenton assess.
My assessment is that, no offense, George and Matilda, but you've got to start giving us warnings about these things twice now. That we've been in danger with some of these substances that you're selling. We can just have. Should we just wear gloves all the time?
I was told that we were safe to pick these. As long as we were careful, we were safe to pick these.
Well, maybe we will be. Maybe she's just trying to scare us out of the forest.
Maybe.
Come here, Matilda. Do you mind? Can I just have a look at your hands? The juice on your hand, please.
Sure.
Oh, come on, I'm not going to touch you. It's fine.
Yeah, she presents her hands.
I will scan it for. Yeah, if I have any known toxins in the little database that it refers to. I don't quite know if that's how it works, but I'm going to say that it will have some things like that.
I'm going to ask you to make a roll for it, because I think that's a little beyond what scan does.
Yeah, I'm just going to read it. I think it's more for material, so I should be able to at least figure out whether it's.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a difficulty 2
kind of
intellect roll.
compound it is. Yeah, exactly. All right. It is. Huh?
I was just saying, can I also have a look at it? I've been around places. I know plants. I have something, and I have also picked up a skill in survival.
Ooh.
Slightly ironically for last week, but I'm still alive, so.
You've learned caution is what's happened.
You might need it because I only rolled a 5.
Yeah, you can make the same roll. It would be a 3, but with survival goes down to 2.
Excellent. That's an 8.
An 8. So yes. From what you can tell, this fruit is unlike anything you've seen before. Each fruit is exactly identical. Actually, now you notice it, that each tree is exactly identical. It's a bit weird. But it doesn't look like any fruit that you know. But it does seem to be staining hands quite a lot. And actually, some of the older stains are quite faded, as if they soaked in quite far. It looks like it is absorbing into the body, at least. You can tell that much.
She's going to make sure that she's not within earshot of anyone who has currently got any of these on, and she's just going to sort of lean over to Trent, and she's like, "We might have to cut the hands off."
I don't think my knife is that big. Let's, because that was my option with Marion as well, and just tape it to your head. But we've managed to avoid it once, so let's try and avoid the choppy first, and then let's call that plan D, and we'll try and fill in a few others in the meantime. First of all, can everybody wash their hands, please? I guess we've got water.
Yeah, you've got enough fresh water to keep you going, so...
And I know I've ripped up everybody's gloves, but if anybody has anything like gloves or fabric that they can wrap around their hands, just some kind of barrier, Vaseline even, no, not Vaseline, some kind of barrier would be great. George, Meredith, do you know who that lady was? Is there a guardian of this forest? Is there an owner?
I thought you were just shouting at each other. You were all kind of spread out, so they maybe didn't catch who it was.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
you feeling all right?
Yeah, I feel fine.
Then they're probably not poisonous. It was just somebody trying to scare us off. However, try and be cautious. Try not to. Definitely don't ingest any of this, the juice. And yeah, wash your hands regularly. Stay 2 meters apart. No.
Trenton.
Okay, maybe
If
I've got
I'm-
one thing.
If I might interrupt, I'm thinking actually. I mean, what happened under the Dream Titan with Mazia? Like, let's see what happens. Although I don't disagree, we need to see what happens. I also think maybe we should be a little bit more prudent and assume that something bad might happen and therefore be prepared for it. So, I suggest, if you all agree, that those who have been contaminated head back to the caravan area. So, go back to camp. And if I believe that book of like flora is in one of the caravans. If somebody can check to see if the fruit is in that book.
Is that the one that Connie left?
Yes. Yes. So maybe we could do that. Well,
We're going to see the lady.
that's what I'm thinking. But I think, well, okay. So, yes. I tell you what, I'll go back to the camp with them. I'll talk to Philo, get him to keep an eye on them, whip up some nice food. That always helps poison, I'm sure. You guys see if you can track down that lady. And I'll catch you up, because obviously I've got you tagged.
So funny. Okay. Yeah.
Matilda will well, not happy. We'll go along in a bit of a huff, mumbling about a day's work lost. But we'll go along because you've been right about these things so far.
Yeah. I will take we must have a couple of baskets, so I will take a couple of baskets with me.
Yeah. So bringing the baskets back, like everyone's carrying a few. You get to the actual edge of the forest, and yeah, the camp's still there. George and Rhodes and Fila have kind of set up a camp, and they're kind of pitching the tents, getting ready to stay the night. And you move into the camp easy enough. Merrin follows you, as does Alia. But the rest of them stay at the tree line. They kind of take a step outside, look slightly confused, and then take a step back.
The camp's this way. It's not moved.
But it's nice in the shade, isn't it?
I mean, it is lovely in the shade, but the camp's over here, and I think we need you in the camp so we can keep a close eye on you.
Right, yeah, but why didn't we camp under here? It's so much nicer down here.
Because
tell George to move the camp over here.
How about you come and tell George to move the camp over here? I'm not sure he'll listen to me at the moment.
You tell him. I told you to tell him to
Who's
move the
saying
camp.
this now?
This is Matilda. I'm in charge of this caravan, and I will say where we camp, and we're going to camp in the trees.
Okay. Can I take a step closer back to the two who are loitering in the tree line? Can I see anything different about them?
Give me a perception roll.
That would be hard because I don't have that skill.
Any kind of skills you might be able to see differences, that kind of thing.
Am I there as
Really
well?
not good at.
No,
I'm.
Okay.
I made you go.
Okay.
let's
Why
split
did
the
I do
party.
You
I
didn't
know.
anticipate weirdness happening yet.
No. If I put, so it'll be intelligence presumably.
Yeah, intellect, yeah.
I'll put an extra effort, so it'll be 2 levels of effort because I get a free one.
Sure, yeah.
So, what do I need to get?
So I'm doing this as an upward scale, so with 2 levels of effort you add 6 to the roll.
I rolled an 18, so that'd be 24 in total.
Right, yeah. So you notice that on the walk over, a lot of these patches of juice have soaked in further. And you can see their irises slightly purpley around the edges.
What is the fruit?
It's purple. There is a lot of purple going on. Purple bark, purple leaves, purple fruit, purple irises.
Okay. Do you know what, Matilda? I think that's quite a good idea. Why don't you take a seat and I'll get George to set up a additional camping area over here, so you're comfortable.
Well, yeah, that's what I told you to do. Go and do it.
Yes, Matilda. Right away.
She takes her shoes off and sits down. We're going to go to the other 3 who are moving deeper into the woods. As you move in, it gets a little darker. The canopy is just as thick as the edge, but there's no ambient light now coming in through the edge of the forest. A lot of the trunks are blocking it. I would like a roll to see if you can track this lady.
Can I both light up my whip so that we've got some light, and I will try and track them using survival?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Ed, I have a thing called coaxing power, which means I boost the power function of the machine to operate at one level higher than normal for 1 hour.
Okay.
If the range of Merrin's glove to Zia's head is if they move outside that range, then I will use this to boost the power
Sure. Yeah.
of the 2 devices.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right for the moment.
Okay.
Got 17.
17. Yeah. Easy. You track tracks all the time. And this kind of underbrush, again, lots of purple leaves on the underbrush, but it's mostly dirt. Fairly moist, kind of kept. A lot of the moisture is kept in by the amount of trees. So, easy to read tracks. Follow in deeper into the forest. Until you find a camp. A fairly simple camp. Just a canvas tent and the remains of a campfire. And tables, almost like trestle tables. These folding synth things with all sorts of equipment over them. We're talking vials and Bunsen burners and optics and magnifiers and stands that are holding different fruits and, well, I say different fruits, the fruit and the leaves and bits of the tree. Not much else grows here, just these purple trees. And whoever's camp this is, they are studying them intently. And as you kind of get to the edge of the camp, the woman pokes her head out the tent. I told you. That's the wrong accent. I told you to leave.
Hello. Yes, sorry to interrupt. Clearly very busy. This is very interesting. Would love to know more about it. But we would love to leave. But some of our friends have touched the fruit, and the purple juice has been sinking into their hands, which is probably not ideal.
Get them out of the forest in time, and they'll be fine.
Out of the forest.
Yes.
How long is
Leave.
in time?
Go now.
We'd love to. How long is in time, and what happens if we don't? Just quickly.
I don't know. You turn into a tree.
Whoa.
Okay, we'll go now. We should go now. We should go now.
We should go now. Right,
Person can't
thank
turn
you.
into a tree.
Could have maybe
Just
told
a
us that
second.
earlier, dear
Just a second.
friend.
A person can't turn into a tree. It's ridiculous.
I can control gravity with my brain.
Can
You've
you
got-
turn into a tree?
Not currently.
There you go.
Let's go, because otherwise there'll be tree people, and that would be bad. I don't know. Well, maybe Matilda would be friendlier if she was a
Letty's
tree.
already pegging it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll come with you.
Is there anything else we should know?
Nothing that I know.
You don't know
Fair
how to
enough.
reverse it.
Not yet.
Can I help?
I don't know.
We don't have time, Trenton. Later. Later.
It's always time to say it. Okay. We may be back.
Okay. So yeah, back out and you see the camp set at the edge of the forest. This everyone's sat down. The three of them are barefoot. Merrin's looking a little confused, but watching the camp. And yeah, Cleege, I guess, is helping set up the camp.
And will have definitely got the book to have looked through it.
Yes,
and
indeed.
is there anything in the book about the purple forest and its fruit?
Yes, there is.
Ooh.
There are lots of warnings about don't pick the fruit. It is dangerous. It's one of those that's like a super vague warning. That's like, it's super dangerous. Don't touch it. Don't eat it. Don't let it open. Don't, all the classic it's a dangerous plant warnings, but nothing mentioning anything else, any kind of details beyond it being dangerous. mostly,
No, you go.
mostly anecdotes about people going into the forest, eating the fruit, then refusing to leave.
Yeah, Mazia's, as soon as she sees Kleegi, she knows that Kleegi is the person to, if anyone's going to be able to persuade people to get out, it's going to be Kleegi. So she's just going to walk up to Kleegi and just be like, if they don't leave, they're going to turn into trees. So they should leave. Should all leave.
So,
Yes, I think it's ridiculous as well.
so you found her,
Yes.
She's
and
a scientist.
She was doing
And-
some experiments, and she said that if they don't leave, they'll turn into trees.
Purple trees.
Purple trees. These trees. They are very uniform, and it is very suspicious. But we should get them out now because they'll turn into trees. I believed her.
that makes sense because Matilda wouldn't leave the forest. She made us move the. We. Are you saying all these are people?
Well, no, they're trees now, but they might have once been people. Maybe not all of them. Some of them, maybe they were trees.
I don't think we have time for this sort of philosophical problem. We need to get them out, and we need to get them out right now. Ms. Merrianoak.
Alia turns her head.
I was talking to your mother.
Right,
How
she'd
are you
be
doing there?
Mrs., right?
Sure, Mrs. Merrianoak. Sorry.
Yeah, and she kind of lethargically looks up at you, eyebrow raised. Right?
We need to get you out of this forest, or you're
I don't
going
think
to...
so.
All right. Letty's going to use one of her abilities. Push.
Ah!
To the edge of the tree line.
Okay. Yeah, let's make a roll for it and see how well this goes.
Letty's not been showing it, but she's still a bit vexed about the last couple of weeks. And she's also a bit panicky because there are 3 people in very immediate danger. So I think she's got a free level of effort, so she's gonna put a second level of effort into it too. Do I have anything else that helps with this? Probably not, to be honest.
You're
I
going to
don't
go
think this
find
counts
them
as,
and
I
push
don't
them
think this counts
forward.
as misdirection.
No.
No.
Okay.
Quick, look over there.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. Oh boy, that's a natural one.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
XP!
No,
We
not
won't.
on a natural one.
Oh.
Natural ones just happen. Because you push her, and she falls over, but her feet stay exactly where they were.
Ah, she's
Oh,
been
she's
rooted.
rooted.
And she looks up at you and says, "What was that for?" Bloody
Oh
thief.
Jesus Christ! We've got
This is
evidence.
happening so fast.
I can't believe I'm putting everything on the line for you right now. You're turning into a tree, Mrs. Merrianoak.
Right? That doesn't sound so bad.
George will be most displeased.
Your children are turning into trees as well.
Sure. It's a lovely place to be a tree.
Oh. I mean, she's got a
Oh,
point.
Nazir, no. Come on.
You're right. You're right.
George at this point is... I'm sorry, what?
Ah, yes. Anyone who got purple juice on them might turn into a tree. And when I say might, will. And will not want to leave the forest and will possibly live here forever.
Right, we need to break out the shovels. Kids first.
Kleegi, can Kleegi go? So it's Nimchek, Matilda, and who? Merrin
Nimchek, Matilda, and
It was.
Aldo.
and Alder.
Merrin does
Did
have the juice, but doesn't seem to be affected.
Okay. Can I go and look at the 3 of them and see if I can assess, what the progression is in terms of eyes and stuff. And who looks like least affected and who looks most affected, please?
Matilda is the most affected. Very
Right.
clearly. You can see slight transformation of her, like the quality of her skin. It's a little more woody. It's got some patterns in it, mostly at the feet. Like the top half doesn't seem to be too affected, but most, like her lower half is definitely arborifying. I guess that's the word. Arborification.
That's a good word.
I'll coin it now. Aldo and Nimchek don't seem to be as affected, but seem as reluctant to leave. Nimchek less so, actually. No, wait. How would that work with...
Because biology.
Yeah.
Biology.
Because they're more flexible. They're more prone to changing themselves, but does that mean they're more resistant to
Being
being
changed by an
changed?
external force?
I think yes. They have a much higher control over their bodies, so Nimchek
Yeah.
will actually still have a little control over their faculties. Still doesn't want to leave, but
Okay. All right.
they'll look at
We
least.
should just be able to pick them up and throw them. It's not like they're going to hurt us. Their bark is worse than their bite.
Ah!
Terrible.
Oh,
Awful. Absolutely
that's
disgusting.
all. Ah, gosh.
But on a more serious note, shall we just take them out? Get to the root
Right.
of the problem. Sorry, that's stop. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done.
Monstrous.
I'm
Oh,
done.
Okay.
Who's going to be the first to say leave it alone?
I was already on chat.
Nice.
That's what started me.
Seed of an
Blame
idea.
Hermit. Oh,
Sorry.
Fiji is going to turn around to the group. Right. Nimchek seems the least affected. Okay, somebody get him out. Should be easiest person to get out. Okay, Matilda's the worst. That's going to be an issue. Trenton, are you able to analyze the fruit to see, like, if there's anything that might... Actually, and get Merrin. Can he see if he can change any of it?
Great idea.
And okay, so
Merrin, could you help your mother and just
Touch her at the feet, or
touch
the
your feet? Yeah.
or
that'd
the
be really
eyes, or
good
the
if you
head.
could.
Maybe the head. Maybe both.
Yeah, he will touch her feet, and you see as his hands get closer, it kind of clears, and you can see the connection to the earth that seemed to be growing out the side of her foot kind of retracts. It's a little, yeah, but does seem to stop it.
Matilda, do you want to leave the forest now?
No, why would I?
I'm going to push her out the forest as much as I can. I'm not the strongest, but I'm actually just going to push her.
Okay.
Can I
Yes.
can I give him a hand
Rooted.
with that?
she's rooted. Which bit of
No,
that?
'cause
She's
Merrin's-
rooted. No. Right, no. Seriously, she's rooted. Let's get. Otherwise, all three will be rooted. Merrin, do Nimchek. Let's get Nimchek out.
the root
Then-
retracted into the foot.
Yeah,
now.
Merrin. When Merrin's
Merrin
hands got
derooted
close,
her.
the roots retracted.
I got that, but isn't she the one? Okay, fine. Cleesy's okay. Cleesy's just.
So do you think even outside the forest that the roots will take again?
No, I just. Okay.
Well, you can
Sorry,
all choose someone different. You can do all three. Like, it's not a choice of choose one. So yeah, I know Trenton's going for Matilda.
Yeah, I think Mazir and I are going to rugby tackle her basically out
Yeah.
of the
Cool.
clearing.
So yeah, what are the other two doing?
Letty's going to try and yeet somebody else out.
Sure.
You take
Okay.
Aldo, and I'll take Nimchek.
Okay. Yeah, easy. Everyone give me might except for Letty. Mazir and Trenton choose who's going to roll, and you get an asset.
I am weak.
I am also not particularly strong, but I will. I'll roll. I will put. I'll put a level of effort in as well.
Sure.
Okay.
That's a
I
12.
put-
Level
two-
of effort in again. Sorry.
Sorry, I got a 12. And that was, and I put level effort in, and I've got Trenton helping.
Sure.
20.
20.
Ah,
Nice.
Natural.
And
I got a 10 and I put 2 levels of effort in.
10 and 2 levels of effort. So yeah, the 4 of you, 2 of you kind of taking Matilda like under the arm, lifting her up and pushing her out. Aldo just goes flying, like catapulted, lands in a slightly crumpled heap outside, and Nimchek, you just kind of grab him around the waist and pull them to the outside. They don't seem to resist too much. Matilda is fighting tooth and nail to stay in the forest, but you still kind of manage to stop her. And Aldo doesn't get a chance at all. And everyone's outside the forest. Everyone is seemingly fine. Matilda wants to go back in. Matilda is like pulling against you, trying to get back in the forest. George now is helping, like holding his wife back.
is Merrin still helping us to restrain? Is he still got his hand on her or near her?
Yeah, still like holding her feet.
Well, this is bad.
Apparently, it will go according to the lady in the forest, whose name we didn't get. Apparently, it will just go away eventually. But
Yeah, maybe we just need
She
to keep her
also
out.
said she also said she didn't know a lot about it and what the time frames were is the problem.
mm,
And maybe if we keep her out, that'll be fine. But we've still got our Mazea here in a wonderful headpiece, and we can't have Merrin doing
Yeah.
all the work around here to keep his mother. It's not fair on the kid. It's already not fair on the kid.
Lindsay, are you able to put up some sort of George?
Yes.
Would you take Matilda into the tent? We'll give you some food and something to like entertain yourself. But I think if you take her into the tent, and then we're gonna basically block the tent so she can't get out again.
Right, yeah, I can.
Are you
I
okay
can
to
keep
stay
her
with
here.
her?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do that.
And just let us know if anything changes, and then we can come and help.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Brings one of the tents kind of out outside the forest, pitches it properly while the two of you are holding Matilda back, and you get her inside the tent with a little struggle as he kind of bear hugs her inside the tent.
Dee, can you block the exit of the tent with one of your barriers, please?
how long
Sure.
does the barrier stay up for, though?
Give me 1 second. I think not as long as we'd like.
Mm.
Um,
Just tie her up with rope.
10 feet by 10 feet, level 2, lasts for 10 minutes. I'm not sure I've got the longevity on that kind of thing. I'm manipulating the forces of... I've not got the strength behind me.
I can stay here for a while, as long as you need. What's your plan?
Well, we don't really have one yet. We just want to see if it will eventually go away.
But this is also the planning a plan phase for, we're going to try and work out how to counteract this thing if it doesn't go away.
Aldo is
Right, guys.
wandering back now after being chucked quite far, like head, and he's just kind of looking around. What's going on?
Do you want to go back into the forest? Don't take a step, but do you want to go back into the forest?
I don't mind.
Okay, firstly, whatever you do, don't go back into the forest. But secondly, good.
Okay.
Good. Sit there.
You'll turn into a tree, is the problem.
Are his eyes purple? Like, is he purple?
Clegy will notice significantly less.
Okay.
It's like he's improving. It's a good sign.
Do you think it was the blunt force trauma of being thrown? Do we need to, that did it? Or it just, maybe just, lasts about 10-15 minutes, hopefully.
Maybe it was the distance away from the forest. Maybe we should have moved Matilda further away.
I think that distance is not going to be a bad thing. This is... I would say let's take her as far away as we can.
Rhodes says, I can put her in the back of one of the wagons and we can just go. And you can call us back. That you'll be able to, I don't know, shout and we'll hear.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Yes.
Right, I'll do
Aldo, sorry about the bonk there. I just had to get you out as quick as possible. I'm not the strongest person.
Oh, right, that was you. Right.
Yeah. Psychic powers. I had to get you out there.
It seemed like it was important. That's fair.
Right.
Does it, you notice a quick cursory check of his belongings.
Very rude, considering I just saved your life, potentially. Go on, get.
Yeah, walks with Matilda. George and Aldo take Matilda into the back of the caravan, and Rhodes just heads off opposite direction, away.
Check. How are you?
I'm fine. That was strange. I don't often lose myself like that.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly felt... What did it feel like? What happened?
It felt like home, and it felt like I shouldn't leave. Basically, it was a very clear... I don't know, impulse to stay.
Interesting. But you're feeling all right now?
I feel fine, yes. I've no impulse to stay now. I'm looking suspiciously at the trees now.
It's fair.
Yes. Please don't go back in the forest. You don't
I
need
was
to be a
not planning on it.
No. Clegy is there any sense? I mean, it's hard to tell on after limb check, presumably because of the colour of his. He's red, isn't he?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
red with like this huge fin and kind of fish eyes.
Yeah. Is there any sense of purpleness about him still?
Quick glance over. No, none at all. The body seems to have rejected it.
Limb check. Are you able to when you meditate and rearrange yourself? Are you able to tell if it's all gone from you?
I've got a better connection to my body than a lot of you do. Yes.
So it's definitely nothing left. Nothing.
I feel nothing. If it is something, it's very subtle.
Okay, good. Right. So,
Then it's just Matilda then that... Oh, 2 out of 3. It's not terrible. Just saying.
It just means we've got to go back in there, doesn't it?
well, okay. So first of all, Trenton, are you able to analyze the fruit at all to see what might be the
Can do.
toxins?
Yes, I can give it a go. I will, with a pair of gloves on, I will peel one of the fruits, and I will take the pips out of the fruit, and I will scan each of the 3 areas, each of the 3 bits, and see if I'm looking for in particular, because the thing is, PJ, I don't really have a toxin database. This is more for materials. But I should still be able to find. Yeah, I'll look for typical molecular structures of toxins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
Can I give him a hand with this? Because if I do know some toxins, and
Yeah.
I don't know the molecular structure of them, but I might know. I know some. I could maybe tell him the names of some that I know.
Yeah.
you might know antidotes to them, which could tell you like what kind of thing they affect, what parts of the body
Yeah.
they attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give me that. Give me an intellect roll for that scan. You do get for free though that there are no pips inside these fruit as you open them up. It is entirely flesh, very very juicy.
Okay.
Because the pips
Can I-
are very very small and in the liquid.
Okay.
I'm gonna like throw the book at like Mazia as well. It's like that's my good advice, by the way.
Yep.
This might be helpful. I don't know if you can like cross-reference. It wasn't very good for this particular fruit, but the others might help.
And what were you saying, Letty?
I was going to say, can I assist by helping people manipulate the fruit without touching it?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we need a roll for this. Everyone's working on this. And this is ever so slightly sentient. Ever so slightly. It wants to propagate as much as possible, and it will do so in a kind of parasitic way. It will hijack things, other plants, animals, anything it can, and grow more of itself.
Is that something I possibly would have noticed in the forest? Were there any animals?
There were no animals. Even though the background track has birds, that's my bad.
Outside the forest. They're outside the forest.
Yes.
Right.
So when you asked if they were all or if all the trees were people, not necessarily people, but possibly they were all living things at some point, but are now. While they are still living things, they're maybe just a slightly different living thing.
But they're not technically trees; they're just parasitic growths that have fed on other living things.
Possibly. I have no idea if there's a way to get them back, but I suspect anything that's been in there longer than, well, a year would be too far gone and would actually be happier as a tree anyway.
I don't know if they should be selling this. This is very dangerous. I can't think of many useful uses. Useful uses. I can't think of many uses.
Alchemists tend to use wacky stuff for all sorts of purposes, but I'm not sure we want them to be able to handle this stuff if they don't know what they're doing with it. Apparently, if they didn't give us any warning, they obviously don't know what they're doing.
It might be good to ask Matilda or George. Who exactly wanted this?
So if people are using this for a weapon, then this is going to be. I don't really want that on my hands.
I didn't even think
These
about
are
that.
all excellent points. Excellent points. Shall we just try and concentrate on actually getting Matilda better first? Is there anything we can do to counteract its effects?
Nothing.
I mean, other than Merrin, obviously, but we can't keep using Merrin. I mean,
We can.
hold on. Merrin.
No, he's in the caravan far away. Oh, sorry.
No. I'm really sorry, Merrin. Your ability is phenomenal, and we just need to test something. Trenton, if Merrin, how can Merrin interface with this without touching it? And then does it turn off the sentient desire of the parasite?
Merrin, by the way, still has juice-stained hands.
Has it not sunk into his hands then? Ah. Firstly, Merrin, do you want to go and wash your hands? Just really, really well. If you don't mind.
Goes
Thank you.
and does so, and all the juice comes off.
that's nice. So it seems that whatever it is that he does just stops this thing burying closer in, I suppose.
It's like he just keeps everything at kind of the way that we would expect everything to be.
So let's see if he can like depower the sentient parasite thing.
I'd be very
Kind of
interested to
interesting.
find out what happens when Merrin touches a tree. Does that tree
Well, he
revert?
He must have touched the tree when picking the fruit,
No, that's true.
and I didn't see anything.
It's not the tree, it's just the juice. Which is just, it has the seeds, which gets into people.
And Merrin can't reverse the effects. He can just stop them from advancing.
Yeah.
It seems. If Matilda has got still the same impulse within her. Sorry to involve you in this conversation, Merrin. It must be quite hard for you.
It's alright, I'm getting used to it.
I personally think that if Matilda isn't getting any worse, then we can just keep her where she is, and eventually it will stop, as long as she isn't being rooted to the ground.
Can't take that risk.
No,
I'm going to go back and talk to that lady again.
Yeah.
With the information that we
Yes.
got now, maybe she can do something with it.
Maybe, but do you want to maybe don't mention anything about Merrin? Just
No.
No.
We want to find a cure that doesn't involve this very talented young man. Give him a break. Okay.
Is it possible that like we could get her to come out of the forest to talk to us?
you'd probably have to go into the forest to talk to her, and she didn't really seem very. She wasn't thrilled to see us the second time.
I can go. If people are worried about getting juice on us.
It wasn't the juice, more. I don't know. Seems a strange place to put up a camp, if you know what I mean.
She was studying the fruit.
I mean, that's what
She's
she
a
said.
scientist. Well, it
She
didn't
didn't
look like
actually
she
say
was
that.
studying it. No, but she had various scientific equipment set up.
Okay. Well, I don't think we can just hope that Matilda just gets better over time. I think we probably do need to go and talk to this woman. Are we all going to go again?
I think so.
Or
I
fine.
think everyone's okay here at the moment. I don't think there's much more we can do.
Indeed.
No.
No, lead the way then.
Deeper into the forest. Again, the sunlight begins to dim, and it becomes very, very dark. You light up again, following the route you made last time. No need to roll, easy enough to do. As you find the camp, as it was before. The woman now is behind the table, very carefully, very thick gloves, tweezers, knives, pulling apart this fruit, looking at it under magnifiers, several layers of magnification, mixing it with various bits and pieces, mortar and pestle, you can see, with other leaves in it being mixed up. And she
Hello,
looks
us
up.
again.
3 times I've told you. Well, go away. Now it is 3 times I have told you to leave.
Oh yes, but well, we didn't listen really the first 2 times.
No, I've
and
noticed.
I don't have much hope for the 3rd time either, to be honest.
May I ask you your name, please?
Cirque.
Sir. You seem to be doing some very interesting work here. I am somewhat of a scientist myself. I was wondering if I could lend a hand. Are you looking for a cure? What you're trying to figure out?
I'm looking to understand.
Well, can we share notes? We've learned a few things over the last little while ourselves. We're only here to help. It's not a competition. We're not.
And then we'll leave for good.
We will.
Give me persuasion.
Oh,
You get a load of assets for saying we'll leave for good.
Am I doing this? Or
Yeah, you were talking.
Okay. I have nothing to help with this. Will I roll a 14?
Well, what have you learned?
Interestingly, I'm sure you've seen this using with your equipment, but the seeds of this fruit are in the juice, and it's some kind of parasite. And the parasite seems to soak through the skin in the juice. Must have some kind of properties which drive it through the skin. Probably of any living organism, judging by the lack of fauna in the forest and also other flora. And then somehow transforms, and that's something we don't know, somehow transforms the creature into a tree and affects their will and their desire, and encourages them to stay within the forest while it takes root.
Well, yes, that was all
Hence the
self-evident.
Delimited border. So do you know how we can stop the spread of this?
I don't have the foggiest.
Oh
It's
dear.
some kind of sentience that has hijacked the genetic code of whatever these trees were, and seems to repeat the genetic code over and over and over, and assumes that everything with DNA should have this genetic code. It would seem that way.
Effectively just clones itself.
Yes. It seems that it thinks that this should be the only living thing.
Do you have any idea where it came from? I've never seen anything like it.
I can only assume it came from somewhere in the centre. I'm a plant scientist. I am not an ultra-dimensional scientist. I'm not an explorer. I'm not an adventurer. I'm a woman who likes to know what a plant is. Sarrecenian. All of you will have heard of the Sarrecenians. They are a group of plant scientists. They try and keep as many plants as possible, keep them alive, understand them. A lot of people think they're weird and lonely, and they keep themselves to themselves and don't really talk to people. They prefer the company of plants, most of them. And this one seems to be no exception.
I apologise, my lady. We really don't want to interrupt your work. Have you noticed anything different in the bits of the forest you have been? I mean, you say something about the centre. Have you been to the centre?
I've trekked a short way further in, not too much further. I am, of course, alone and don't want to take too many risks. But yeah, it doesn't change much in the centre. There is a small patch to the north which seems to have be a little freer of trees, less uniform. I'm not entirely sure of the source of it, but it seems there is some change there.
If you're interested in that, we're for hire. We could go and take a look at it.
And why should I hire you? You who I've told to leave my forest 3 times.
Because we've been in this forest 3 times, and we've already learned that it's a sentient plant clone creature that takes over living beings. We've listened to your instructions vis-a-vis getting people out. Very helpful. We appreciate it. And we're very talented. We've been here right the way from the clock of Kala, and we're not dead yet.
And like you said, you can't do it, and we can.
Also not technically your forest, is it? Is it?
It is mine in that I am the only other living creature in here. Give me a persuasion.
Hell yeah, I am trained in persuasion.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, you are.
Do I have anything else?
Do you have anything else?
Just checking. Understanding Numenera probably isn't coming to... It's probably just persuasion. I'm going to put a level of effort into this. Oh, I get a free level of effort. I'm going to put 2 levels of effort into this.
Nice.
No need to roll. She flicks a coin.
Oh.
A shin. That's an advance. Find out what's causing the irregularity. Report back. And you'll get another few.
All right.
Which direction did you say? That way?
North.
That way. Good. Anything else we should know before we go?
It seems like you've got the lay of the land, honestly.
How long have you been here?
It's hard to tell. At least a week. Possibly more.
Does anything happen at night in the forest?
Honestly,
That was so well done.
yeah. Honestly, it is hard to tell when it is night.
Okay,
I have myself
right.
a clock,
Well,
so I can tell, but nothing much changes. Very stagnant.
if you're while we investigate, if you're able to maybe come up with any idea of how we might counteract this parasite in a human, we'd be most appreciative of any thoughts you might have.
Oh, that's why.
Indeed. It seems one has not fully recovered from being out of the forest.
I'll do my best.
I'd be very appreciative. Right, lead the way, Mazia.
Mazia will go north.
Indeed. And the trees become less regular, as described. They're quite evenly spaced throughout most of the forest, but in this particular area they start to thin a little. Even though you're not near the edge of the forest, you're definitely in the deep, dark heart of it. This little area, you can see sunlight kind of skimming through the treetops now. It's kind of golden, heading towards sunset, like late afternoon time. So this kind of golden glow lights up the purple. It's very beautiful, even if slightly uncanny. I would like... No, actually. Let me check something. In my notes here. Or here.
I guess we can't hear anything at all.
I was going to say, is there any water? Is there any running water nearby?
No, I can't hear anything like that.
How damp is the ground?
It's kind of, like well-watered. What's the word? Not soil, like compost.
Mulch.
Mulch, yeah.
Do these trees drop their leaves at all?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Oh, so they are like trees.
Yeah, they are trees. The only thing weird is the fruit. And
And the fact that they may be people. You know, that's not weird. Maybe that just happens every day and I don't know.
the
about that.
Sarrecenian mentioned something had hijacked the trees, so the trees aren't just
Yeah.
trees, but
I-
yeah. Letty, take 2 experience points.
Oh, boy, howdy. Okay. I'm going to give the other one to Mazia, who is so valiantly leading the way.
Excellent, thank you.
Absolutely. A question kind of pops into your mind. I should ask it where I can find a new body. It's completely apropos of nothing. Just a weird, intrusive thought.
Do I feel that it's intrusive? That I shouldn't be thinking this? Or
You definitely didn't think it.
oh, hello?
Hello.
You all
Not
look
you.
at Letty. One eye has gone black and full of stars.
Oh,
Letty, how are you feeling right now?
Mostly a little confused, my dear Cleachy.
Oh.
I've just had a thought that didn't belong to me.
Really?
And in this place, it's rather alarming.
Yes.
and it didn't belong
What's
to
that?
you.
What was that thought?
Shh, 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 shh. Hey. Hello? What do you need a body for?
Dead body.
The eye returns to normal.
A body, did you say?
Whose body?
I don't know. Maybe some telepath round here. Maybe that lady's messing with us. Bloody telepaths.
Didn't really seem like the messing type, and they're not normally known for their sense of humour. We come across them every now and then, but they're not a lot of fun.
I imagine they can't sort of do eye changes that they wouldn't ever be possible be aware of.
Eye changes? What's happening to my eye?
Oh,
What?
it looks fine
Nothing.
now.
You're fine. Absolutely fine. Right.
Oh, well, tell her. Let's see. Twice now. Twice, I think.
At least.
It was mainly, it started when you cross the bridge. It's only for a brief second. Your eye, this is just one eye, isn't it?
Just one.
Eye briefly changes so that it looks like stars.
It's very pretty.
It's cool, but it seems to be, I don't know, when you're having a link to maybe whatever gave you the whiskey.
I
I know, I didn't want to tell you, it's too much. We don't know what it is.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I only saw it once and I thought it had gone away.
It just flickered. It could have been a trick of the light or anything, but
It
that
hasn't
was not a
happened
trick
for
of the light.
weeks. It hasn't
A
happened
trick
for
of the
weeks.
light that all three of you saw.
No,
I'm
I
not
didn't think it
actually.
was a trick of the light, I just thought it had gone away. I thought it was a bridge thing. The bridge was weird.
That
That's
was a
weird.
weird
I mean, I've not
bridge.
seen it again. I only saw it at the bridge very briefly.
Same.
And to be honest, that whole bridge thing is. Anyway.
Letty, do you
I'm
want?
having a day.
Yeah. Should we have a rest for just 10 minutes?
I think we probably shouldn't rest in this forest because
Yeah,
it's
I'm-
terrible.
I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, but
Let's go.
we'll find some we'll find some way of giving you a full examination, and Eunice. All of us are going to need a checkup.
We'll find a doctor at some
It's not a
point.
bad idea.
We can.
As you...
Let's
No, you, please.
let's actually just try and examine this area. Let's see if anybody can see anything like under the surface. We might have to scuff. I think I brought the shovel with me, so I guess I'm digging.
Yeah, as you look around at the area around you, the trees have become far enough apart to let actual shafts of sunlight down to the ground. And you can see that the ground here actually starts to dip. You're walking down a slight slope into a little kind of valley thing. This, like a chunk, like a wedge has been taken out of the ground. This quite steep end and a little slope, and you're walking down one of the sides here.
How big across would you say that is?
Maybe 100, 200 meters, so
Okay,
fairly
sizable.
large.
That looks promising.
in a slightly sinister way. Well, come on then.
Okay.
Okay.
Down in there. Letty, you feel like this is the right way to go. You don't know why, but you feel like it's the right way to go. Everyone notices the eye again. And
Oh, your weird eye's back.
Huh?
Your weird eye, it's back.
Oh,
You feel
Nothing.
Can you
alright?
see
on?
okay?
fine.
Do this.
I'm good. It's fine. I'm all good.
just as soon as it was there, it's
Just-
gone.
Let's keep going. We're going the right way. I feel
yeah,
like.
we can't do anything about that now.
Down into this little valley, the soil becomes wetter and wetter, and you get to the bottom of it, and there's a kind of a pool actually. You can see it pooling at the bottom, and at the end of the pool, where this steep side of the valley thing is, there's a little cave at the bottom where this water seems to be leaking out of.
Well, what are the chances we should go in there?
Hi, but don't go into the water yet. Step back. Step back from the water, Mazia. More. No. More.
She will step back from the water as instructed.
I want to scan the water beep, beep, to see if it's normal muddy water.
Normal muddy water.
Okay.
What's interesting is there are microorganisms. There are larger macroorganisms, I guess. Little worms swimming around in it. You don't want to be drinking it.
I will convey that information.
Worm. Okay. Can we fish out one of the worms and just see if it does anything?
It's very tiny, right? It's not like a
just like
worm.
a little swimming thing. It doesn't seem bothered when you pull it out. It's just a little worm.
And it
Hand-
buries into your hand and into your brain.
Not this time.
No. Okay, we check it though.
Yeah, no, it's a thorough check, and it's just a little, standard worm kind of thing that lives in water.
Okay.
It says that other creatures about now. Obviously, worms aren't clever enough.
Can I pick up a rock from the bank, light it up, and sort of chuck it into the cave?
Yeah, absolutely. You hear the splash and see a shadow, an outline, a silhouette of something that pulls back very quickly. It's quite big.
Yep, there's something in there.
It looked like it's a floating, almost like a bird's head connected to something with a lot of kind of tendrils, maybe, or maybe wires or cables or vines. It's hard to tell before the light went under the water and it was just pulled back into the darkness. Letty, you take a step forward.
I was gonna say I take a step forward and start floating over the muddy water towards this cave.
And the rest of you catch Letty's eye as she takes a step forward and starts going into the cave.
Let's go. Follow.
Letty, are
Don't
you
let her
hearing
go
anything?
alone.
Are you hearing anything? I'll follow.
I'm going on ahead.
No. Wait for it.
I will ready my dart thrower. And I will
Gliding over the surface of the water as she sort of disappears into this cave
Yeah.
in front of you.
Is the rock that Mazir threw in, is it still lit up?
Yes.
It is, yes.
Okay.
It's underwater, so you're getting this kind of refracted light lighting up the inside of this cave, and you can see it goes down quite a bit further. you can see this indistinct shape at the back. And Letty, as your eyes kind of get used to the darkness, as they start to resolve the image, it is this strange bird's head connected to some large hulking thing. The head seems to be free floating and moving and looking at you from other angles, connected to whatever it is behind by these tendrils. They look plant-like. It looks at you, and you hear another voice in your head. Would you like to make a deal?
I'll leave that for the other me.
Remind me, what whispers do you have?
What whispers do I have? I have a Nevergene's deal is golden. Oh. I have it will work, but it is futile.
That was Nimchek.
That was Nimchek's one.
Yeah.
And
With-
then the
with
other
that
one
first
is this
whisper.
entity.
Clicks. Immediately, you see the shape. It's a Nevergene. It's curious, tilting its head. The rest of you splash in this kind of ankle, calf, knee-deep water, and your eyes resolve this shape and let you quite calmly looking at it.
What is that?
Stay back there, guys. I'm not in danger.
Letty's eyes are normal.
They are.
What's going on, Letty?
I believe this as... I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but you are a Nevergene, am I correct?
I am.
I'm assuming nobody else heard that.
Heard what?
Nope. This here is a Nevergene. My name is Letty. I would... If you were to offer me your name, I
A
would
fair
accept.
trade. Carthus.
Carthus. This entity here is Carthus. Just
Hello.
introducing you to my compatriots here.
A
Is
good-
this your forest?
No. I've been here longer.
Whose forest is this?
I'm not sure it belongs to anyone. It is its own thing.
You happy to have such a roommate? Or displeased?
I can avoid it. It does rather hamper conversation.
I very much gather that.
It's been such a long time since I've had a visitor.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Carthus.
It's a pleasure to make our first deal.
I'm told that a Nevergene's deal is golden.
Have I not proved that so far?
You have? I was just curious when you asked if I wanted to make a deal, what sorts of deal that you had in mind.
I can trade information. I can trade favors. I can talk to your friends as well if you'd like.
I have no objection, and I gathered there'd probably be like to included in this conversation because they've been a little worried about me lately.
Friends
Over
of
the last
Letty.
10 minutes.
Everyone hears. You've made a deal with me. Please give me your names. You know mine.
Carthus?
I am.
Yeah.
I am Cleegi Hockig Jowlig. Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir.
Carthus, my name is Trenton Brook. This is a nice cave.
And I am Mazia. Would you like me to turn the light out?
It does not bother me.
It's fine then.
A deal struck, a deal completed. An auspicious start.
Arthur says he can trade in information.
What does he want in return?
Don't know yet. I suppose that's up to negotiation.
Does he know anything about this forest? I mean, I know you were talking about it, but...
I know a little. I understand somewhat what it is.
A sentient parasite.
A weapon.
Weapon.
An ancient
Of
weapon.
whose creation?
Invaders who wanted to change the planet to be viable for them to live. This was not its original genetic material. And now you must hold up your end of the deal. Tell me something I don't know.
How am I meant to tell you something I don't know when I don't know what you know, but...
If I know it, I will tell you, and you will have to try again.
I have been infected by some sort of goo
I'm a dream titan.
from a dream titan.
From a dream titan. What are the effects?
We're hearing this in his head, yeah? Oh, sorry, in our heads, yeah?
Yep.
How much, how in depth could you hear my thoughts, as it were?
I hear only what you project.
Let me try something. And she's going to unbuckle the hat and just
No.
lift it off her head very quickly. And nod.
Mazia, don't do that.
Mazia,
And
don't do that. Mazia, don't do that. Mazia, don't
and
do that. Mazia, don't
she's
do that.
going to try and project that thought to our new friend.
Okay. Make an intellect defense roll.
Yeah, I deserve that. I deserve that. That's 12.
Yeah, just the 1 point of intellect damage as you see the shape, the head flinches. A curious affliction. New information.
Quickly put the helmet back on.
A bargain struck, a bargain kept.
I was to ask you for your help. Is there a way we can stop the effect of this weapon and maybe even remove it from the planet altogether? What would I need to offer to make that deal?
That information... I do not have all the answers. I may be able to point you in a direction, but I do not have all the answers. But more information like that would require quality information in return.
Gigi's having a think. As Helen has a think.
How long have you been... Just so I can... How long have you been here without any visitors?
A century or more.
Alright, so anything that's happened in the last century is possible information that could, be traded.
True, but the information
have-
I will be giving you is relevant to you. So information you give to me would ideally be relevant to me.
What are you interested in?
I'm interested in people, in customs, in stories, in secrets.
Would you be willing to trade the information about the forest and your help for that, for the story of how we arrived here?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh, question. This a pleasant social interaction?
I think so far it's been pleasant. There haven't been...
Oh, yes.
All the bargains that have been struck have been kept.
Okay, so I am specialised in that. I'll put in my free level of effort, if that is okay.
Yeah, so I've got very difficulty 2.
And that's a 17.
A long story of many parts.
Oh, it may take a while to relay. There. Would you mind if we made ourselves comfortable within your abode?
It's only fair.
And Kliji will sit down and recount the story of how we got here. It's going to be long.
Oh yes, it does take a while. This long, winding tale passing through many, many places, sometimes with a couple of weeks in between sessions. But yes, the story... Kliji, you are, of course, a storyteller. You are quite good at this. And so the Nevision seems engaged the whole time. And as the story comes to the current point, the Nevision says, I can see your need for this deal. And so, I will help you. It is a weapon.
Thank you.
And as such, it can be controlled, programmed. If you can find a way to convince the weapon to accept a different structure to replicate, you may be able to nullify it, or at least slow it.
Interesting.
You'll have to convince it that you are its master. But from the story you've told me, it doesn't sound like you will fail at that.
I wish I had your faith in us.
A deal struck, a deal kept.
And I am grateful.
Letty. There's just a little push in the back of your head. Like something you've forgotten. Like, edge of your mind.
I have 2 questions. I thought I only had one, but I've got 2. The first one I'm not sure you'll be able to help with if you've been here a century without contact. Where is the treasure of Carden Colin? Is the question I would ask you, if you know the answer.
That is a deal I cannot strike.
I thought that might be the case. Well, my other question... How can I get another body?
Ah. I see.
Although I'm not sure that's a deal I'm making for myself.
Well, that depends on the definition of self. But I'm not here to talk philosophy. The slant milieu. You should find something.
At Slant Milieu.
You'll have to come back and fulfill the deal yourself later.
Is it information you want, or is it something else?
You'll know.
Alright. Is there anything else I can offer you?
No.
I could...
It has been pleasant. I'm
Oh.
glad my deals could help.
I don't suppose you know how to get this goo out of my head, do you? Or stop it hurting as much anyway.
I may. Head tilts.
Ask how.
What would you want in exchange for that information?
I'll tell you the information. No, you need to know what the deal is. I would like you to reach out to me when you solve this and bring me with you. Not now, later.
What do you mean, solve this? Solve this?
Yes.
Oh. And bring... Yes. How do you travel normally?
I don't. But a way you could leave that behind would be to enter a different state of being. The data sphere is one such place. You could enter and return and leave behind the contaminant. It would take some work and some understanding, but from inside the data sphere, you may be able to bring me. May. All I ask is you try.
Do I know anything about the data sphere?
You know kind of the basics that everyone knows. It's that every adventurer knows. It is kind of the internets of all the previous worlds. It is pervasive throughout the ninth world. Information manifest. You can enter it, you can turn yourself into data and enter the data sphere. But sometimes it just pushes through in glimmers, in little bits of information. And actually, you learned a little bit, or you made some connections in Rashid, that perhaps the Catholith is pulling stuff from the data sphere. You don't know how you'd get in and out.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, something to be solved later.
Yeah, I'll. Sounds like a good deal, she says, saying it, glancing at Cleege, and then Trenton, as he probably knows the most about the data sphere. Well, it sounds like data. Mizia would assume that Trenton would know at least more than she does. But yeah, she'll agree to that.
Do I understand what it means to go in the data sphere and leave something there?
Yeah, you might know a little more. So nodes where you enter the data sphere, you basically see there are philosophical questions about what happens to you, because your consciousness does go into the data sphere and comes out the other end in a different place, or sometimes the same place, but your body is gone, and when you come back out, your body is reconstructed.
Yeah. Okay.
So the question is it you?
Yeah.
You know, classic cloning philosophical questions.
So it's like uninstalling and reinstalling.
Yes. From
Nice.
the world.
Okay. Interesting.
Reboot from disk.
Okay.
Trenton, is there anything you wish for?
No, I don't want to make a deal here at the moment. Thank you very much. This has all been very useful.
It was pleasant to meet you nonetheless.
Thank you very much. I tip my hat. If I still have do we all have what we need from here?
I think so.
Do you know how to get this anklet off while I'm here?
Yes.
In exchange, I could tell you the crime I committed to earn it.
Please?
I was one of the ones responsible for 20 years ago the destruction of the material inorganic matter of the entire city of Ishlav.
Interesting.
Wow.
Nobody died.
Wow.
We were bandits for a while, and well, we were very wanted by a lot of people.
There's a slow nod. If you can depower either section, it should disconnect. If you can move the sections far away from each other without them locking, it will disconnect. Enough brute force will disconnect it.
How does Kliji look at this question?
Honestly, Kliji was looking at Mazir when Letty revealed the crime, and was thinking, really sure that wasn't in the report either. Just don't recall that being mentioned at all, like in any of the nothing. Just assumed you were a bit of a thief. That's what Kliji is going through Kliji's mind. So he's sort of slightly irritated with Mazir and is not quite prepared to take on exactly what Letty has done yet. That's been pushed to be dealt with at a later time. But in terms of the ankle cuff, Kliji's fine with that. He wants it off, actually. He's always said he'd prefer it to be off.
I mean, I could probably just disconnect it. I could just break it, assumingly. No one's ever asked.
Always thought it would kill him. That's why I killed her.
I'm assuming it as the jailer. Do I have a way of removing it? If I wanted to.
You don't know how to remove it.
Okay.
I think we established earlier on that you were like, I don't know how to work this thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the instructions. And that does sound like
You just carry it. You just carry the device, don't you? You're just the carer.
There's probably a combination. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't need to write down.
No,
I
but
can remember that.
I think specifically they didn't tell you how to break it open.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Well, this has been enlightening in many ways, Carthus. I thank you for your time and your hospitality.
Thank you for
Before we
your
leave,
conversation.
just to everybody else. So we need to interact with this fruit. Is that correct? And convince it to stop
Nothing
being
inside the fruit.
Do we know how to do this?
I don't know how you do that.
Oh, okay.
You'll find a way. From the story, you seem to always find a way.
We can at least give it a go.
That'd be fine. Things always work out.
Fiji will
Look at
stand up
optimism.
and make his way out politely.
Okay. And as you splash through the water out into this little dirt valley, that is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Yay!
Ooh.
There we go.
That was good.
A little genie conversation.
Mhm.
That was very spooky. I was very tense the whole time. We were in that.
Yeah, luckily you didn't piss it off at all, so
Would we
it seemed
ever,
quite
Ed?
happy. You've done a fair share of pissing things off.
Hey, Matilda.
I think the only things that I could think of to ask him would have been slightly antagonistic. So I was like, no.
But how do you kill a Nevergin? Just
Yeah,
out of
isn't
curiosity.
Yeah, I think the deal there would have been, how would I kill you?
Mm.
I mean, quite easily. We are very squishy.
That's true.
Uh,
Anyway.
Well, thanks, Ed.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do some wrap up and then we can cool off a little bit.
XP.
Oh
XP,
yeah,
XP.
let's do some XP on stream because I keep forgetting to do it on stream and I keep meaning to. Because you met the Sarrecenian and you met the Nevergin, and that's it.
Nah.
Yeah, sorry.
We didn't get any for getting the people out of the forest. Well, I mean, we put them in the forest.
You got
but-
them out, so yes, you
Yeah.
got them out in time, like quickly enough. So yeah. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, even if it is slightly too warm at the moment. And even if we were slightly late, sorry about that again. If you enjoyed our particular brand of chaos, come and join us in the Discord. Assuming there's anyone different in the chat. Oh, there's a few names I don't recognise. Come and join us in the Discord. Various games and chats and stuff going on there. You get to see my fancy new dice which arrived today. I think we will do a raid. I will press the raid button after we go off. So stick around for that. We'll figure out who we're raiding in a minute. Is there anything else anyone needs to say? Have I forgotten anything?
What's coming up this
Yes.
week, Ed?
The usual stuff. It is on Friday, The Benefactor, and on Sunday, Lancer. Lancer, it's going to be the finale. We've got some
Oh, wow.
voice acting from a few people here as well. So yes, I need to actually put that together at some point. But yes, it will be our finale. Last session we did some weird stuff in Dataland, in the computer, in the data sphere, as it were. So yeah, come and join us for that. And Benefactor on the Friday. I can't talk quite as authoritatively about that because I'm not in it. It's still just good though. That, I think, is actually everything.
Think so.
No one has contradicted me, so I'm going to say that's everything. And I will say finally, good night all. Have a good one. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.